Okay, this is the first chapter of Spirits. That's a working title, like everything. When do I ever have like an actual, oh, hey, I want to call it this title? Anyway, chapter 1, warnings for implied violence and just general, like, spookness. Like, we're dealing with spirits here, like the OG Fae, okay? So, a little bit of spook. General spook. In her earliest memories, she was lady of animals and plants. She remembered walking among humans for the first time, seeing how they marveled at her cloak of verdant leaves and the ever-changing feathers at her ear. She remembered meeting her twin for the first time, how the humans had scattered at his approach, how they warned her about Lord of Death and Decay. Moreover, she remembered how her dear brother had broken before her, how he wept for joy when she did not flee at the sight of him. It was easy to forget how fragile he had been, with how jovial he was now, but the point still stood. However long he had been alone for, it had taken its toll. By the time he found her, the only one not innately afraid of him, he was desperate for affection and attachment. As such, he tended to guard her almost jealously, though he could not stay in any one place for long, lest that place become permanently barren of life. He visited as often as he could, and asked the sky after her when he could not. Death and Decay especially delighted in her newer hobbies, when she went out hunting and foraging for her humans. Then he could actually walk beside her without fear of harming her forest, for whatever death he brought was reserved for their prey. The first time humans joined her on one of these expeditions, they had bolted at the mere sight of him. It was then that she had realized, for all that they were twins in face and in power to her, the humans felt the differences far more closely. When she returned to the nearest settlement, she asked why her hunters had run from her dear brother. "We fear him," she was told. "We know that he brings plague and pestilence, and ran for our lives and the lives of our families." "He does no such thing," she had chastised. "He brings a natural end to things that they may start again. Plague and pestilence are brought by another, but my brother eases the suffering of those it afflicts." But none would listen the first time, so she left for her forest in a cloud of leaves. The second time Death and Decay had tried to join her and her hunters, many still ran at his appearance, and she watched it happen with sad eyes. She already knew how much their refusal pained her dear twin. But one stayed, a young man, this being his first hunt, who had been so eager to go with animals and plants that he'd almost broken his bowstring in his rush to prepare. She caught sight of him, and though he trembled at the cloud of dust and feathers, he stayed firm and refused to flee. "Why are you not running?" she had asked the youth. Her brother had stepped up beside her, and for the first time she heard his human form's voice. For the twins never spoke aloud to each other. Why should they? "Do you not fear me?" he had asked softly, like a shadow across the grass. The boy shook again at the sound, and she wondered idly what their voices were like to humans. "I trust the lady's judgment," he had said, "more than I ever would my own when it comes to her brother. If she trusts you, Lord, then I do as well." Then, as she watched, his face lit with wonder and his eyes with surprise. When she turned her gaze to Death and Decay, she could see why. Oh, the joy on her dear twin's face felt like the light of the sun itself, though he stood in shadow as always. "Then you have my thanks, and what blessings I can give, young one," he said to the boy. And in his voice she could hear the sheer effort it took him to not break again. "As well as mine," Animals and Plants added. She wasn't about to be outdone, and the joy this child brought to her brother deserved any gift she could give. "What is your name?" "Kira, lady. Kira Leone." "Then, Kira Leone," the twins said together, "you shall have 2 gifts, for you have brought a joy twofold into our lives." The wind kicked up, and Kira startled. He would have backed away were it not for her kind hand on his shoulder. She smiled gently, trying to calm the boy as best she could while her brother attempted to pull in some of the rampant energy. No big shows were necessary here, and they may have gotten a bit carried away. It was a spirit's wont to make a show. "From me you shall have all the grace and nimbleness I can grant you," Animals and Plants said. Her words reverberated across the quiet clearing, and from the tree above her, a small, downy feather fell. She caught the bit of white fluff and tucked it into Kira's collar before backing away. "From me, you shall have all the skill and cunning I can grant you," Death and Decay echoed. From the shadows at his feet grew a bladed tool, the stone thinner than any man could ever make and unnervingly black. He knelt before the boy, plucking the blade from the ground and offering it handle first. Kira reached out, but withdrew his hand for a moment. Animals and Plants feared that he was withdrawing, that the fear had become too much, that they had gone too far in blessing this child. But she saw the lad's throat work for a moment, and, without so much as a twitch, he held his hand out to receive the dagger. Death and Decay pressed its handle to the boy's palm. "You have blessed the spirits with your courage, Kira Leone, and renewed my faith in man. May this blessing come back upon you, that I hear you, should you have any need." He stood, turning in a sudden flurry of black and gray feathers, and was gone. The boy stood there, stunned, hand still out with the dagger. Animals and Plants snorted, every ounce of her endlessly amused. "Don't mind him, dear," she said gently, startling the boy out of his reverie. "He likes to be dramatic." Yes, ma'am." Poor Kira shook as he looked up at her, but there was a glow to him now that couldn't be erased. Good. She liked that, she found. Liked looking at someone and seeing them glow with pride and a bit of magic. It was too bad it couldn't last. The next time Animals and Plants came to visit, she looked eagerly for that little glow. Where was it? Where was Kira, that wonderful boy who had so blessed her with her brother's joy? The ritual hunt had been called off and he had been sent home. But surely he would wish to participate in this one if he were so eager to join the last. Head and shoulders taller than the crowd, she should have been able to spot him easily. Her equal in height, standing in the shadows of the trees, her brother should have been able to spot him. But she couldn't. But he couldn't. But they couldn't. "What are you searching for, lady?" she was asked. "The boy that came home late from my last hunt. Where is he? Where is Kira Leone?" A woman's sob, sticky and muffled, answered her. When she followed the sound, a woman had collapsed at the far edge of the crowd, her hand over her mouth. Animals and Plants felt a swooping, unpleasant sensation in her chest that she had never felt before. "Where is he?" she demanded. "Where is Kira? Where is the boy I blessed?" The woman keened this time, long and sharp, and Animals and Plants bore through the crowd to reach her. "I told them," the woman sobbed. "I told them it was a blessing. I... She lost herself to her mourning, and Animals and Plants knew what that swooping was. Dread. "What did you do?" she hissed to the crowd around her. Her leaves went sharp and red and orange, then died away to empty twigs in a rustle like a scream. "What did you do to him?" she growled. The feathers at her ear went from jay blue to cardinal red to buzzard black. All at once, Death and Decay was there beside her, standing tall where she bent and bristled. "What did you do?" he demanded in that shadow voice, his gray feathers melting away to naked bone. "Where is he?" At his appearance, men shouted in alarm, the gap between the spirits and the mortals only growing. "What did you do?" they cried together, with crackle of bone and twig, with rustle of stiff feathers, with scream and screech of gnashing teeth as their long dark hair fanned behind them like a shroud. The humans screamed. It was an omen, they claimed, that the boy had returned carrying Death's own knife. No blessing but a curse laid upon their entire village. Kira's mother wept in the background, unseeing and unhearing, as the story was told of how her son had been torn from her and torn. She was left untouched, as it was shown why the twins walked so closely, why they were more like than unalike. And so the twins learned there were precious few in the world of men who could be trusted.
Well. Could have brought that on themselves, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Please make an audiobook. Yes, I second that.
Yes,
Yep.
please.
Yes. You need.
You add so much to a strong narrative just from your acting and the emotions and energy you put into it from a live reading. It's very fun. I love listening to you read your stories.
I'm not having fun.
Oh, well.
Why not?
I'm full of rage.
Good.
They just wanted a friend.
They just wanted a friend.
It was pain, yeah.
I guess now I have to...
Sports.
I guess now I love sports.
I love sports.
Now I'm kind of left
I love
wondering
sports.
what happened to the mother that they left untouched, because they did spare her. She didn't do anything wrong. I guess
She tried. She tried to save him.
I appreciate that sense of fairness, even in their wrath. They don't just kill everyone. They killed everyone who hurt their friend.
Yep. Well, they do have a sense of fairness. You know, this is Mother Nature and death, okay?
Yeah, yeah. And usually they don't have a sense of fairness. Usually life isn't fair.
But there's a sense of justice.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like there's a difference between fairness and arguably justice, and there it is very clear to them which choice they are making.
Yeah.
Yes, I love the
the way
descriptions
they
of them.
change. It was so good.
Oh,
I'm glad.
Your visuals are so strong and all your writing. Just
they
the way
are.
you can see it, it's marvelous. And your fable writing has a very distinct flavor. Like, I really love all of your writing, but
This is a very different flavor.
Monster flavor.
This is another flavor, and I also love it. And it's the same flavor as the fables that grandmother told. And it's lovely. I love it so much. And it's the first chapter, but it reads like a full fable, and I just adore it. It's wonderful.
Yay! I can't wait.
How much do you have planned out, ready? Like,
I've
where
got a
is
good
this story at?
I've got a good bit of it planned, but this is the only part of it that's actually been written.
That's fair.
I have many plates.
Yeah, that's
Yum.
relatable.
We get a sample of it.
Y'all haven't even heard of all the plates I got spinning.
We'll get the
Ooh.
samples of it. We're getting the samples of it.
Well,
I
consider
honestly
me
think that
posting these eye emojis.
Oh no! Why are there 3 of them?
Ditto to the plate. Ditto to the plate monster, though. Ditto.
Two genders.
Blurry eyes and third eye.
Yeah.
I wish somebody was around who could put the jumpy eyes. Those are probably my favorite.
Me. Hang on, where is it? Where it
They're very
is?
good.
There it is.
There we go.
There's more eyes,
Ooh,
more eyes, more
that's a
eyes.
good
Oh,
one,
both
too.
of those work.
Eyes, more eyes.
That's a good one too, Scrat.
Always more eyes.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Have a consider. We also
Oh my
have
gosh.
derpy eyes.
We have this one too.
No.
This is just getting worse.
I will be right back to read. Okay, be right back.
Have eyes everywhere.
It's getting worse. How
We
is it
have-
getting worse?
It's getting better, excuse you.
Pinkles there.
No.
Dang it.
Yes.
Yes.
Pinkles there.
Go away, Binkelman.
And we also
No,
have-
Binkelman's a friend, how dare you?
That
Yeah,
is not a
it's a
friend.
Binkelman is a friend! Binkelman is so nice you don't even know.
He's a childhood friend.
Pet.
friend.
That I've definitely
Friend.
not known for my entire childhood or anything.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, welcome to Shenanigans, Belle.
Good.
Oh, good.
This is about how it winds up every time.
Yeah, if we don't move on fast after we're done with feedback,
It
it's just-
derails.
All right,
Yes.
all right.
Okay.
So, do we have more feedback for Monster? Other than what we've said already? Because I can talk about this all day if you want. I just know that we have 2 big boys left.
Big
Oh
boys.
boy.
Big
Playing
boys.
with the big boys now.
How did we go from no list to packed full list of like almost
Because it was
Muslim
work
stories?
that we had in the list.
Because you threatened to cancel on the 1 week I was going.
Yeah.
See you,
Thanks for
Scoot.
saying
See you, Scrat. See you, Scoot. See you, Scoot.
Scoot.
Scoot,
Go on.
no, my WIP Club. Scoot got
And join us in the dude.
got a boot, Scoot
So,
boogie.
Monster, is this a complete short story, or is this one of your projects that you're building over time?
This is a first part, yeah.
Oh, nice. Looking forward to more nonsense from these 2.
Oh boy, just you wait because next week we meet Storms.
Ooh. And then I
Except-
remember
Except nature doesn't know it yet.
Also mentioned that what is it? Plague and pestilence is different from death and decay.
Yep, absolutely. And we will see that difference. We'll meet. What was it? I can't remember. Like Lord of Storms and Snow. It's gonna be good.
Oh, I mean, I understand that like a being that causes suffering is different from a being that causes death.
Yeah, and it's not even causes. It's just is.
Is a being that is suffering.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the difference between death and the Lich in Adventure Time.
That feels accurate. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Can't wait.
Hang on,
Love
let me
it.
see. I have a list of names of characters.
Ooh.
And they all have like quote unquote proper names that they take. Like instead of Lady of Animals and Plants, she becomes Forest. Like time passes. Time passes very
Oh.
quickly.
And they just shorten their names.
So we've got Lady of Animals and Plants who will become Forest or Mother Nature. Lord of Death and Decay who just becomes Death. Lady of New Life who becomes Life or just West Wind. Lord of Storm and Ice, that's what it was. Storm and Ice.
I'm back, sorry.
Hi. or Storm, or the North Wind.
So
Lady-
Mother Nature is different from life,
Yes, they are different.
and they're not related, huh?
Nope.
Interesting.
You can already tell, can't you? I'm pairing these guys off. Anyway, Lady of Faith and Endurance, or Hope. And then a couple that don't have names. I don't know why they're here.
You'll find a reason.
Yeah, no, they're here. They're here. Titan of Truth to Self, who's probably going to be like a stone titan of some kind.
Ooh.
Who is just like, I do not have a name. I don't need a name. Watch me.
I'm here for all of these ideas. I'm just sitting here, like, drinking it up. I'm just slurping. It's great. Thanks for the soup.
There's a couple more, and then there's my last one, which is probably one of my favorites, which is the Bringer of Good and Bad, known also as Warmth or the South Wind.
Mm.
I did a lot of like study of directions and like the different importances of the different winds. But yeah, there's your previews.
You're just getting constant eyes emojis in the chat. Like, it's a whole tower of them.
I'm used to that.
Pizza hands.
I'm having the pizza hands. That's me.
Looking. Anyway,
I'm bapping my iPad because I'm not on the table.
Slappage.
Slappage.
All right.
You slapping.
Please change your nickname to Slappage, please. What are you? Slappage.
Slap wood.
So amazing.